Welcome to Resume Storyteller with Virginia Franco, bringing you interviews with industry experts and regular folks who tested the job search waters and succeeded, and strategies to tell your story and land you job interviews in 60 days, guaranteed. Here's your host, Virginia Franco.
Hi, and welcome to the Resume Storyteller podcast. This is Virginia Franco, and I am thrilled to introduce my latest guest, Nickquolette Barrett. She is the founder and CEO of iRock Development Solutions. Nickquolette's passionate about helping serious career professionals understand that they are more than just an employee and that they are, in fact, their own corporation, their own brand, and really their own CEO. She presents keynotes, breakout sessions, workshops, and seminars on a whole bunch of topics related to career development, LinkedIn branding, leadership development, and how to land a dream job. She is the author of the Your Hire series that's available for purchase on her website, which is iRockResumes.com, and Amazon. So, Nickquolette, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Virginia. I'm glad to be on.
So I just gave a quick introduction. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? A quick overview of what you do?
Well, thank you so much for that great introduction. Yeah, just a little bit more about me. Sometimes when we say CEO and founder of that major company, people really want to know, what the heck does she really do? So I would love to go ahead and share that. So what I am is truly, I'm a career development strategist. I specialize in career development coaching, resume writing, interview prep, and LinkedIn branding for career professionals and businesses. And my goal is to basically tell their career story, basically in written form, and also teach them how to verbalize it as well. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
And how did you come to be in this role? Tell us what led you to founding this company.
It's so funny because I've been doing this kind of work for years in corporate America. I've been in corporate America for almost 27 years come May. I can't believe it's been that long, but yes.
You started when you were 12, like me.
Exactly. I will accept that, Virginia. Almost 17 years in leadership, so in various leadership positions. And as a leader in corporate America, you're required to develop your employees, develop them within their roles, develop them for promotional opportunities, lateral opportunities, or what have you. So I've always been charged with doing that with my employees. So writing internal resumes, internal job posting applications, all that kind of stuff, interview prep, career coaching, that's just second nature because of the actual role. And as far as going back to college, I've always been the person everybody came to write their resume. Oh, Nickquolette is a great writer. Send it to her, send it to her. So it's been one of those things. You're your family and your friends' resume writer. So you just do it. But it wasn't until the corporate America, the job I work at, we went through a major overhaul of our organization. And at the same time, there were a whole lot of opportunities for people to get. So usually you're working with people one-on-one, individually, here or there, and your mentees or what have you. But this was an opportunity for me to develop a whole entire team to get promotional opportunities because they wanted to move them into other opportunities that were opening up. So I got to work as normal, doing my normal job. And there was two people that I ended up getting opportunities where they increased their salaries by $14,000. So they came in and said, Miss Nickquolette, you really need to do this as a business. There are a lot of people that can use what you do. I said, a business? I said, no, this is
Did you even know that what? I didn't even know it was a business. That's how you get paid for it.
And it was so shocking, Virginia. I said, what do you mean people will pay me to do this? I said, you're kidding me. And they said, yeah, if we weren't working here, of course, by way of my job, I had to do it. We would definitely pay you to do this. And I'm actually, then one lady said, I'm going to tell my husband to hire you to do this because, you do a great job. I said, well, I never thought about it. Then, of course, Virginia, to tell you, social proof is always really, really good for your business. So I just put a blurb out on Facebook. So I put a blurb out on Facebook, told them of my success. I had half of my team promoted to new opportunities, anywhere ranging from $5,000 to, I think it was about $10,000 at that point. Then the second half of my team got promoted, and the two got promoted with $14,000 increases. Then I had some mentees got promoted to leadership positions. So I just kind of, put it out there on Facebook. Then I got people from across the enterprise that I worked with down through the years as being their manager start weighing in, say, oh, yeah, you did me. That's why I'm in my position. And that social proof start coming in on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is really real. Then people start inboxing me. Well, how much would you charge to do my resume? And I'm like, I have no idea. I made up something in Virginia. It was truly something just to get started. And after I did that and they sold my first resume to a client, it just bloomed from there. And I just took my natural gift and my natural skills and turned it into my company, iRock Development Solutions, LLC, doing business as iRock Resumes. And the name is pretty catchy. So people love the iRock Resumes name.
I love that. Yeah. So you see all people, all walks of life. What do you see as one or two challenges that, sort of commonplace across people that are testing the job search waters or you're making a career change today?
They really are not sure on how to articulate their worth through the art of storytelling, number one, in written form, and number two, in person through interviewing. They kind of have an idea of what they want to do and what they want to say, but they sometimes kind of feel bashful about their skills and their talents. And so therefore, not being sure and confident in how to be able to articulate it in writing and also in person in an interviewing session is what I see most. And that's what I love to do, is be able to get in and really show them, here's your worth in word form. Here's your words coming out of your mouth. And this is how you're going to say it. And then their confidence is built up so much. But that's what I see the biggest challenges, not being able to articulate their worth in written form and verbally.
Yeah, it's hard to reflect back and do that yourself, especially when you've lived through it. Putting your blood, sweat, and tears onto a piece of paper or a 30-second speech is no small feat.
Yes,
no,
exactly.
I agree with that.
People become bashful. They become very bashful. They feel like they're bragging. Like, no, it's not bragging. It's just really articulating what you've done and being proud of what you've done.
Right. No, that's true. And I think it's a huge confidence booster to see your story reflected back in someone else's eyes.
Exactly, because what I do with my clients, I pull out those nuggets and I just have them talk to me, pulling out those nuggets and say, no, that is really huge. But people always get me when they say, oh, I just did that. Oh, I just did that. No, you didn't just do anything. You actually helped the company move forward, achieving their goals, achieving certain metrics and results. Or what have you. It's not a just. It's really helping somebody increase their bottom line. So therefore, you have value. And so I'm able to articulate that and put it in a form that they feel like, oh, my gosh, I can do this.
And tying those stories to the bottom line. What was the end result? I think it helps to take away the I just did this. Because then you say, well, no, this is what the outcome was. And that's what people want to see.
Exactly.
So I'm sure you talk with people that haven't had a job search in a long time. What do you find that they're most surprised by? Is there something that sort of catches them off guard?
Basically, being able to see themselves and seeing what they actually bring to the table. So by their own career story, we just talked about being a confidence booster, because once I deliver the product to them and they see themselves, they're shocked and surprised that, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did all of this. One of the clients I'm working with as we speak, she had so many accomplishments that I thought, okay, we can't do a 5-page resume. We have to just pick out the creme de la creme. So, and she was like, oh my gosh, I really did not realize how much I have actually done within this company. I said, yeah, you've done a lot, and you've done a lot of great things, but let's hone it in to pick out the best things. So they're really shocked when they see it in written form. And that's what surprised me, that people really don't understand their worth until they see it on paper.
Interesting. What would advice, if someone comes to you, friend, family, client, and says, I need some advice. I'm getting ready to start looking for a new job. I'm thinking about making a career change. What advice do you give them in terms of where to get started?
Well, I actually tell them to don't go it alone. I always say invest in your own career development. And I always tell them, if you invest in your own career development, it will pay you back years to come. A lot of times people are sticker shock from one little cost. And they think that, oh, that's one cost. I said, well, if you're really looking for an opportunity that's going to pay you a decent salary, say, for example, the $50,000 salary plus benefits plus vacation, I said, that's not a one-time payment. That's something that's going to pay you year after year after year. So you're investing in your career future. So I always ask them to think about, how can you invest in someone to help you get to the next level? Because it will shorten your time on trying to land your dream job. So I always say, look, if you're thinking about your salary, think about 10 to 15% of that salary that you can invest in yourself so that you can revamp your resume, that you can get the interview prep that you need, and also have career strategy sessions and a LinkedIn branding. Because when you have everything tied in a bow, I'm telling you, it just cuts down on the time. What I often see people do is spin their wheels, sending out one general resume to all these opportunities, never targeting anything. And they're like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting any hits.
Yeah.
Well, you're spending a lot of time. And the more time that you spend in doing that, that's decreasing your ability to earn. So therefore, invest in yourself, cut down on the time, and just do it right the first time. It will definitely pay you back tenfold.
Yeah, no, time is money. And I like what you said about investment pays off in dividends, because if you get more money, you get that same amount of money year over year. So it's paid for the investment.
Exactly. And if you do a good job, if you have a career strategy branding session that make sure that you only land a job, but that you keep the job, you're going to get great raises and you're going to get promotional opportunities. So you start off at one salary, but think about next year how much more I can make if I do a great job. So it's going to pay you back.
So what do you just say to the person who has been job hunting and, they're spinning their wheels or it's just not working out? Where do you suggest they start?
Really self-analysis. I would say take a step back and then ask yourself the tough questions. And some of the tough questions can be simple, like, am I just sending my resume out desperately to any job that sounds good? Am I being realistic about my skills and my abilities? Am I confident in who I'm portraying on the document that I'm sending out? And then think about networking. Am I really able to network, to get out there and network effectively? Because a lot of jobs are found through networking and not necessarily on a job posting board. So you get in through the back door. How are my networking skills? And do I really have a strategy to land the job of my dreams where I can create a career? Or are you just saying, I just need a job? So you have to decide, do you want a job or do you want a career? So I ask people to take a step back and think about those things, even before you even make the investment. Do a self-check and really decide, what do I really want? And then you can start your search on getting a professional to help you, and also then start looking strategically about the job that you want to help you move your career forward.
Do you think that I'm just thinking for myself if I could do this, could I be realistic that my skills are well aligned to what I want to do next? I'm thinking I need someone to be a sounding board to go, you're over your head, or you can do this, no problem.
Yeah, because you want to talk it out. Because if there is a gap in your skill level, then a career strategist or a career coach can actually help you figure out how to close that gap, and often close that gap pretty quickly. So you want to be able to say, okay, am I willing, if I want to work for this company, for example, this huge company, and I want to get into this role eventually, am I willing to just get my foot in the door with this type of role that actually aligns with my skill set, develop my skill set along the way so I can get into the role at that dream company that I want to work for? So what are the steps do I need to do to get to the end result? Because you may not be able to jump from A to Z. You may have to go in between and do some other things as well. So thinking about that, having somebody to strategize with you, talk through it, and not necessarily just anybody, but somebody who's experienced in the field. Because I always say, be careful about your auntie writing your resume.
Well, my mom won't be helping me, right? An expert sounding board, right. No, that's a good point. That's very hard. It's just as hard to tell your story. It's hard to self-reflect, for me at least. Self-analysis, All right.
Yeah, so, exactly.
What about, and this happens to me all the time, I get clients who can do a little bit of everything. Their skills are really diverse. So they know they don't like what they're doing now, but they can't decide where to go next. And, you don't want to position yourself as a jack of all trades, because then nobody can figure out what to hire you for. So how do you coach them to figure out the next direction?
I ask my clients to really hunker down and choose one or two areas that excites them the most. And I'm thinking not just exciting, it makes you want to jump out the bed and say, yes, I'm going to go and do that job. And I'm happy to be able to go and do that job. If you're not jumping out of bed every Monday morning, excited to go and do the job. Yeah, I know sometimes we have our moments that, it's Monday, I don't want to roll out of bed, I don't want to go to work.
Right.
From the perspective of not liking your job. That's a whole different dynamic. But it's something that, I love doing what I do. Yeah, I may be a little tired today, but I'm going in, I'm going to give it my 110% like I always do. So hunker down and choose one or two areas that excites you the most. Then if you want to do a number 3 and 4 that excites you, look at a company and say, well, can I do 3 and 4 eventually in that company? Or if not, where can I find that 3 and number 4 in another company? So really trying to hone in because, you don't want to be seen as a jack of all trades. In the role, You may have to do several things, but if you have a laser focus, a target, oh my gosh, the results will be so much quicker and you will feel so much more grounded in your career and your career development and also your career progression. So I always say, hunker down, let's talk about one or two things that excite you the most, and let's look for an opportunity that fits you that way.
Okay. All right. So listen to your gut.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I just turned 50. Everyone might know that. So and a lot of my clients are my age or older. So the topic of age discrimination comes up. Of course, I also see it for people that are younger. What are your thoughts on the topic, and how do you counsel your clients on, this potential job search barrier?
What I really work with my clients on when they feel that they have an age barrier, I say, well, why don't we make sure that we're articulating the value you bring to overcome the ageism? So if you're articulating your value and what you bring to the company, they want to really be able to see that you can translate that into dollar signs. I'm sorry, no matter what age you are, you have to be able to translate it into dollar signs. So if I'm focusing my client on being able to articulate that on paper in their LinkedIn profile as well as verbally, then that should reduce the ageism because then they're saying, okay, this person can bring some value in from a leadership maturity perspective or a career maturity perspective and help some of my younger employees bridge that gap because you can't have a company full of just young people because then how do you really get things done from an experience level? So that's why I work with my clients to see their value from that perspective and really focus their whole career branding on value, translated into dollar sign.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, because the dollar speaks louder than any objection at the end of the day.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to say, bring me the money. How can you show me the money? And I can show you that not only from my words, but also I can coach the younger generation on how to get the same results to also continuously increase the worth of that company. And that's what you want to do. Bring in that value, being able to tell them, hey, it's not just about, me, but what I can do for your employees as well who are not at the same age that I'm in. But bringing that experience and that maturity, because corporations need that maturity within a lot of organizations and not just young people there. And they can help each other. I mean, you got generations that really can help each other understand different things. The older generation can teach the younger generation some things, and the younger generation can teach the older generation. So it all works in harmony together.
I agree. Are you of the opinion that people, if you're in sales or even, operations, sometimes it's a lot easier to connect the dots. This task and this achievement led to this amount of money saved or, earned. What about those roles that are more touchy-feely? I'm thinking, like training or, I don't know, HR, other roles where the connection to the ultimate dollar sign is a little less. What do you suggest with that?
How does when people have those type of roles, what value did you bring to actually move that operation forward? Because there's metrics no matter what area you're in.
You're right. There's
it doesn't have to so there, you're right. So being able to articulate it from a metric perspective, I even tell secretaries or administrative assistants, how did you help your CEO boss or your manager meet his goals? Now, if he had a deadline I have a project done, did you help him meet that deadline? So therefore, they can speak from that perspective of their administrative work to help their leader to be able to achieve their goals, because they wouldn't achieve their goals if they didn't have an administrative assistant. So I help them talk through that with them and pull out those gems on what big major project did your boss have and what type of task did you help him do that? So we articulate that in their resume so they can show their worth as well. But it can be done because, again, every area has metrics.
You're right. And so it's wherever you move the needle. That's your value.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And I see that throughout my whole corporate career. And that's what I say. I'm able to see it from every single level on how an organization can move forward because I experience on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I'm a job seeker. I come to you and say, I'm going to start looking for a job. What are 2 tools that I cannot live without in this journey? What say you? What's your answer?
I would say the two tools is a well-written career story in the form of a resume and a LinkedIn branding profile. And I know you didn't ask for a third, but a well-prepped interview session. You can't do without them. Mm-hmm.
So resume, LinkedIn, and then the ability to articulate that verbally, a strategy to help you do
that. Yes, indeed.
I agree.
Yes.
So we sort of talked about this because you and I both ending up founding our companies through this, but a lot of people want to try something new, but they're afraid to dive in head first. So they sort of, there's all this talk of a side project, side hustle, a different source of income to test the waters out before they, quit their day job. What do you think about that? And how do you think someone should go about it?
Well, I see this as an opportunity to leverage both. I would say use your current employer, your current role as your angel investor as you test the waters in a side hustle. That way you won't just jump out there and find it's not a viable option to support you and your family. So think of it as, okay, this is my job. I'm going to do the best job that I can here because I need to keep this job because it's paying me benefits. It's paying me a weekly or bi-weekly wage. That's my investor. And I'm going to go ahead and do this other, thing on the side just to see if it'll work for me. And I'm currently doing that as we speak. And that's so therefore thinking about me as a corporate leader. I've been in corporate America for as long as I've been, and I'm in leadership. So being able to keep my relevancy as I coach my client is very important to me. And that's a personal choice for myself. So it is an angel investment for myself to be able to keep my day job. And I work my iRock resumes in the evening because, Virginia, most of my clients work. So they can't speak to me until after they get off work anyway. And also the advantage of me being in a leadership role, I have flexibility. So I'm not a 9-to-5er. I'm a salary employee. Right. So therefore I can, manage my time any way that I need to. Hence, I'm able to service my clients. And again, it keeps me relevant in the thing because I coach every day. I look at metrics every day. So look at your actual role and what you're doing and make a personal decision on what can you do. Put money aside as you build your actual side hustle. And if it's something that's going to be viable, wait until it replaces your income. And if it's the right time for you to move, then move. Now, I'm going to speak to some of the older generation. Like for myself, you just said that you're 50. I will be 50 this year. So would it make sense for me? Oh, thank you. So mine's in November, and I'm like, yay. So would it make sense for me at my age to leave a company where I have a pension, where I have all of these, a very longevity, to leave my company when I'm this close to retirement? And then jump into my business. So then you have to think about where am I in my career journey? If you're early in your career journey, it's probably easier to jump out. But if you're later in your career journey, it may not be so easy. So it's so personal, but I need you to. So you need to really outline what sense does it make for you and where you are in your career. How close are you to retirement? What kind of income do you need to replace? Because what I find that people do, they listen to a whole lot of people. Yeah, I have now increased my side hustle to replace my income. And I've seen people say, yeah, I've made $30,000 in my old job. Now I can leave and make my new job. Well, what about that career person who makes $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year? So this probably take a little bit longer to get to that salary before you jump. So again, it's very, very personal. And I don't want people to just make a blanket statement and say, yeah, I got this side hustle. Now I'm going to jump over there. Well, make sure that it's balancing out everything. Can you still afford health care after you leave your job? How are you going to still contribute to your 401k? The company that you work for have a pension. Like the company I work for, we're one of the only companies that still have a pension. So I've been told from my coach, you probably better not leave that job. Yeah. So for my coach, as a coach, I have a coach as well. So my coach said, well, you probably don't want to leave that because you're going to be leaving some money on the table. So therefore, again, with my ability to be flexible as a leader, a salary employee, I can arrange my schedule so that I still can meet my clients' needs and also still have my career that's also a very good financial benefactor and angel investor as I do my actual career. So it's a very personal decision, but I ask people to walk through the steps and not just be looking at all these coaches and all these people. I did this, I made this much $1 million and I'm going to do this. No, you can't do that. Make a personal decision, write out your finances, talk to a coach, talk to a financial advisor, and make sure it's right for you and your family and not just jump out there. That's my advice.
That's right. Yeah. So where you are in your journey, what your deal breakers are, what you need and what you can get from it. That's really good advice.
Yes. especially if you don't hate your job. If you love what you're doing and you like what you're doing, and I can see where people are just so unhappy, then you have to make a move. But my career, I love what I do. I get a chance to coach people every day. I get to interview prep every day. I get to do all of these things, meet metrics. I get to do all of these wonderful things as a corporate leader every single day. I don't hate what I do. So for me to just run away and leave all of those other benefits on the table, and for me personally, would be kind of foolish at this day, today, Virginia.
Right.
It may change next week, but today.
That's right. And it sounds like you're giving up a little sleep because you're working a lot of evenings or weekends.
Yeah.
But you're not losing millions of dollars in this investment because you haven't lost anything except for your time.
Yes, exactly. And I so enjoy what I do for my clients. And I see how they, thrive. And as you've seen on my LinkedIn profile, I have the social proof out there. And it's a blessing for me to be able to do what I do on both ends.
That's wonderful. So what's next for you? Tell us what we can expect.
Okay, well, 3 things that's going on with me right now. I'm excited about my new career coaching program of individual and group. And I'm starting my very first one on this coming Tuesday. And it's a launch right off of my Vision to Action Vision Board workshop that I did. And so my goal is to continue to try to build my coaching practice in addition to my resume writing, interview prep, and LinkedIn branding options. And I'm also excited I landed my first corporate coaching client where a company actually is paying me to coach one of their up-and-coming senior leaders. So I'm very excited about that. So that's one of the pieces that I'm building. Yeah, so that's one of the pieces I'm building as far as my business is concerned. And then my books, just really launching both my books and get them out there. And I'm excited to get my first check from Amazon for my, what they call it, the little rewards that you get for, losing my royalties. That's what I'm trying to say. So I got that little notification. I was very excited about that. So those are the things I'm really excited about for 2018 for myself.
So if someone is looking for your clients all over the country, or do you do local? Okay. So virtual.
Yep, they're all over. I'm virtual, and my interview prep sessions are all done via Zoom, so it's all virtual. And my corporate client that I just landed, she's in Chicago, Illinois. Yep.
Okay.
And she's going to be flying out. We're going to do a 2-day intensive and everything. So it's really, really exciting.
Well, Nickquolette, thank you so much. Again, you can check her out at iRockResumes.com, but I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, Virginia. This was a fun conversation.
Take care.
You've been listening to Resume Storyteller with Virginia Franco. To learn more about storytelling strategies to catch the eye of today's SCIM online readers, hiring and decision makers, go to www.virginiafrancoresumes.com.